Hello, I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Red Alert Report for Wednesday, September 19th, BDS, A Brief History Lesson. I'd like to bring to light an article I found on a website called Honest Reporting, an article by Daniel Pomerantz that was published on September 4th. Honest Reporting is a website dedicated to uncovering overt bias, even inadvertent bias, misinformation, and lies pointed at Israel and reported on about Israel to unfairly demonize them or attack them or characterize them. In a 2,000-word diatribe in the New York Times, one Joseph Levine, a philosophy professor and member of the Jewish Voice for Peace Academic Advisory Council, defended BDS with an article titled, "Is Boycotting Israel Hate?" Now, Daniel Pomerantz responds to this article by giving a great breakdown of the history of BDS and why the answer to that question is yes. So I would like to summarize the outline of Daniel's article, as I think it is very important. Now, concurrently, the JVP in the UK has some issues going on as they are making bedfellows with Holocaust-denying groups as well as other anti-Semitic groups. And I encourage you to go on Facebook or Google and search for a group called Beyond the Great Divide. They have a really good article published on September 1st by David Collier, and he outlines what the Jewish Voice for Peace group in the UK is doing and how Jews in the UK are understandably extremely alarmed, and what perhaps we should know as Westerners in America and other parts of the globe about what's going on in the UK. So putting that aside, Beyond the Great Divide, look for David Collier's article September 1 regarding the Jewish Voice for Peace in the UK. But my little history lesson right now is about the BDS movement, its connection to the Jewish Voice for Peace, JVP, here in America, and this article by Joseph Levine, who's on the academic advisory of said JVP. So, if we look back to the core of BDS, boycott, divest, and sanction, this movement has been identified by many, including the Anti-Defamation League, including state legislatures, federal legislatures such as Congress, and bipartisan agreement that it is anti-Semitic in its nature. However, people who engage in BDS and the Jewish Voice for Peace claim that those of us who claim that BDS is anti-Semitic, while we are actually just trying to silence them, oppress them, and relieve them of their freedom of speech. So let's examine the core of BDS for just a moment. Omar Barghouti, the founder of BDS. Here's a quote: "Make no mistake, the purpose of Boycott, Divest, and Sanctions Movement, BDS, is to destroy Israel." Asad Abu Khalil, California State University political science professor and BDS leader and activist, quote, "Definitely, most definitely, we oppose a Jewish state in any part of Palestine." Now, please keep in mind that Abu Khalil already identified Palestine as the entire region wherein Israel, the state of Israel now sits. John Spritzer, author and BDS leader and activist. The real aim of BDS is to bring down the state of Israel, and this should be stated as an unambiguous goal. Another leader said, quote, "I think the BDS movement will gain strength from forthrightly explaining why Israel has no right to exist." So you can see the BDS cookbook does an excellent job of covering up their own founders' notions, as their current foot soldiers run around claiming that BDS is not anti-Semitic but merely anti-Zionist. Now, Levine, the author of this article in the New York Times, he ignores all the foundation premises of the BDS organization. Now, let's keep in mind that the Jewish Voice for Peace is no voice for any peace, and the Anti-Defamation League has described the JVP as a radical anti-Israel activist group that advocates for a complete economic, cultural, and academic boycott of the State of Israel. 2015 JVP Deputy Director Cecile Soroski stated that fundamentally the Jewish idea that Israel is a, quote, light unto the nation means that ethnic cleansing, even Jewish side, these are all divinely justified. Now, this is what Cecile said that the Israelis believe about themselves, that to be a light to the world, it means that they're allowed to commit genocide. and ethnic cleansing. And this is as far from the truth as you can possibly imagine. And all you need to do is go to Israel for a couple days, tour around and talk to all the ethnicities that live there, and you'll find that that kind of a quote is simply absurd. The JVP has equated Zionism with white supremacism, and they even actually blame Israel for the police brutality program in America. The Anti-Defamation League has also published a statement that the JVP gives cover to anti-Semites who couch their malice towards Jews as mere anti-Zionism. And their proponents and members have posted statements such as, Israel should be wiped from the face of the earth. Israel was responsible for the 9/11 terror attacks. So with all of this blatant and objective evidence about the foundation of BDS, the philosophy behind it, and that supporting organization of the Jewish Voice for Palestine in America, and you can research the UK's chapter as well, you will see that Joseph Levine is a disingenuous writer for the New York Times. And I'm disappointed that the New York Times did publish something that was so error-filled. And I am not sure if Joseph Levine is simply willfully uninformed or just a plain liar. But it is important that when people say that BDS is just about anti-Zionist notions and that they publicly disagree with the policies of the Israeli government, you need to know that it goes much deeper than that, and that is just the haze under which they operate to systemically undermine the entire existence of Israel. So that is our history lesson for today, the roots of BDS. Shavua Tov, and have a great week.